The moment you felt abandoned was the very moment God had already stepped in. The moment you wondered if things would ever change, God had already sent the answer. You just hadn't seen it yet. You hadn't felt it yet. But the word says He declares the end from the beginning. You're not waiting on God to figure it out. You're stepping into a plan He already finished before the world began. You're not trying to force a breakthrough. You're aligning with something already completed in heaven. What looks like a delay is actually divine timing. What feels like silence is filled with supernatural movement. You may not hear the trumpet, but the angels are already moving. You may not see it yet, but the outcome is already secured. The question isn't whether God has done it. The question is, can you trust that He already has? This is where faith separates from feeling. This is where worry turns into worship. This is where the enemy loses ground. Isaiah 46:10 says, I declare the end from the beginning. My plan will stand. I will do all I please. God is not reacting. He's revealing. He's not improvising. He's fulfilling. He's not trying to make things happen. He's unveiling what's already settled. If you believe God is working in your life, today stand with me in faith. Open your heart. This is the moment to trust the unseen strategy of God. He has never been late. Not in your life. Not in His word. Not in His promises. The real challenge isn't whether God is moving. It's whether we can trust Him when we can't see the steps. Some of God's greatest moves happen in silence. No clouds, no signs. Just a word spoken before the storm. And that's when He tests the depth of your belief. As long as he sought the Lord, God made him prosper. Isaiah didn't know the whole plan. He just obeyed what he understood. God didn't need perfect vision, just faithful steps. So don't wait for the full picture. Move with what you know. You don't need the whole staircase to take the next step, because your next step is filled with divine power. Sometimes the waters won't part until you step in. Sometimes the door won't open until you knock. Sometimes the strategy won't unfold until you walk. Don't mistake silence for absence. Don't confuse delay with denial. Don't let what you don't see make you forget what God already said. He's using this moment, not just to work it out, but to work something in you. Endurance, stability, trust, so that when the blessing comes, you can carry it. He's not just preparing the miracle, He's preparing you. You don't need to beg for what's already written. Just walk toward what's already yours. Sometimes what looks like hiding is actually protection. Sometimes what feels like being overlooked is divine safeguarding. Isaiah 49:2 says, He hid me in the shadow of His hand. He made me a polished arrow hidden in His quiver. He didn't hide you to hold you back. He hid you to keep you safe. You're not forgotten, you're preserved. You weren't denied. You were developed because premature exposure can sabotage your purpose. God hid you until your roots were deep enough to handle the weight, until your character could carry your calling, until your spirit was ready to stand when others would fall. That's why you couldn't go with the crowd. That's why you didn't rise as fast as others. Because your rise wasn't for applause, it was for purpose. And now, the hiding is lifting. What God shaped in silence is about to reveal in strength. Not for show, but for destiny. You're not walking toward uncertainty. You're stepping into alignment. The result is already decided. It's not a possibility, it's a promise. The enemy can't cancel what God has spoken, so he tries to make you question it. But don't give in. Hold your ground, because God's promises are not suggestions, they're decrees. Ecclesiastes 3:14 says, What God does lasts forever. Nothing can be added or taken away. The ending is already locked in. Setbacks didn't erase the promise. Delays didn't shift God's hand. You weren't rescued just to be abandoned. You weren't delivered to be forgotten. God doesn't start what He won't finish. Every twist in your story already accounted for. Every disappointment already woven into your testimony. Every closed door already redirected toward your destiny. You're not chasing a maybe. You're walking into certainty. The outcome is not just good, it's guaranteed, because God already said yes, and no one can reverse it. So walk boldly, pray confidently, wait faithfully. He has already worked it out. You're not missing anything. Nothing is broken. Nothing is lost. Stand in faith. The finished work will surely show up in your life.